Before I get started, let me promise you that there will not be any spoilers about anything for any 2020 Advent. I won't even show anything in the packaging in case you've ordered yours but haven't had a chance to unbox it yet. I will talk about a few things that I did from 2019 Advents, but like I said, I promise nothing spoiled for 2020. And welcome to another Knitty Heather Scrap. This is the series on my channel where I explore shorter subjects in the knitting world. If you'd like full details on all of the projects I am currently working on, please check out my podcast videos. Okay, so I have a confession to make. I am absolutely a minis addict. Throughout this year, I have ordered no less than 5 yarn advent calendars. I know. Try not to judge. I really love supporting all these beautiful yarn dyers, and it's all I've asked for. It's all I'm getting for Christmas, so that's how I'm justifying it anyway. I'd like to tell you today about my plans for these advent calendars and a couple of special little extra advent things as well. But I promise, no spoilers. Let me know in the comments below, did you purchase an advent calendar this year? If so, who did you order it from and what are your plans for it? Are you going to add to scrappy projects? Are you going to work on something that's designed specifically for minis? Let me know what your plans are. I'd love to hear about it. I always love learning about new patterns that people are working on. First, I have 2 pairs of Advent self-striping socks I would like to knit up in December. The first is from Christina, the Cozy Knitter. She has a very famous self-striping advent calendar. I did hers last year, and this is what it turned out like. Super pretty. She included this mini, and I got a mini for this year's calendar as well. I did these toe up, and you add a new stripe every day until Christmas. So there are 24 total stripes in these socks, and then I used the mini for the toes, heels, and cuff. I started with the toe and worked all the way up the stripes and then added the afterthought heel after I did the cuff. So I cannot wait to see the colors she has in this year's advent calendar. I'm sure it will be just as stunningly gorgeous. I can't wait to see what color my mini will be. I am planning on casting on the toes before December 1st. That way I can be ready to start that first stripe right on that first day of December. My first project is going to be the Cozy Knitter Advent socks, and I know a lot of you are going to be joining me in making your own lovely pair of Cozy Knitter Advent 2020 self-striping socks. The other pair of Advent socks I'm going to be working on is from Stacy of Mustache Yarn. She has a new 24 stripe Christmas colorway this year called Hard Candy Christmas. It's not really a spoiler because she did post what it looks like, but I won't show it on this just in case anybody hasn't seen it yet and doesn't want it spoiled. But it's called Hard Candy Christmas. It will be very beautiful. I'm going to use this cream color for the toes and the heels and probably the cuffs too. Last year I participated in her knit along that was also a 24 stripe skein that was called A Very Hobbit Christmas. And here's how those turned out. Again, this was from last year. Very pretty colors. I cannot wait to see how this next colorway called Hard Candy Christmas is going to knit up. So I have the Cozy Knitter and Mustache Yarn as far as Advent self-striping socks I'm going to be knitting this December. I am only planning on working with 2 of my Advents actually in December this year. The first one is from Knit Style Yarns, Sharon. And she was the only one I purchased from last year, and I loved it so much that I absolutely had to support her again, and I can't wait to see what hers is going to look like this year. It was absolutely stunning, and I'm sure it will be just as gorgeous this year. So my plan for that is going to be the Adventuring Cowl by Amba O'Brien. I'll insert a picture over here. You knit it flat with the provisional cast on and then seam it together at the end with the 3-needle bind off. I will try to get the provisional cast on done before December 1st so I can get right into knitting that first stripe. It's a very pretty eyelet lacy cowl, and I'm very excited to add a stripe of each new color I open every day. The other advent that I'm actually going to try to work up this December is from Clark and Elle. I've really grown to love her yarn this year as I worked through her Year of Minis quarterly seasonal advent calendars, and I had to order her Christmas one as well. What sold me on hers was that she offered it in a sparkle base, and I don't have very many items that I used a sparkle base, so I'm super excited to work with hers. Now, without spoiling anything, let me just say that there is a mystery knit along that I am planning on using her yarn in that uses the Advent Minis. So that is my plan for that. Stay tuned for more details. But with the Clark and Elle, I will be doing a mystery knit along that uses Advent Minis. So those are the two projects that I am planning on working on this year during the Advent season. But let me tell you my plans for my other Advent calendars that I will start working up in 2021. The first is from Nicole of Hue Loco. Now, what intrigued me about her offerings was that she had one that was called the Fade Advent. And I was really excited about the idea of getting a mini set that faded from one color into the next to create a beautiful gradient rainbow. I can't wait to see what that is going to knit up like. What I'm planning on making with her Advent is the Round and Round cowl by Kay Litton. It looks really pretty. It's a very simple idea, just adding a new stripe of each color, and I think it will look super pretty with kind of the fade that the yarn should hopefully create. So that is my plan for Nicole Hue Loco's Fade Advent. Kay does give you directions in the pattern about how to kind of modify it just a little bit to include 24 minis. The next Advent I ordered was from Hypnotic Yarn, Cheryl, and I'm a huge fan of her yarn as well. I've been getting her Yarnable box every month, and her yarn is just stunningly beautiful. She gets such rich, vibrant colors, and I just cannot wait to see what she comes up with in an Advent calendar. Now, again, without spoiling anything, let me just say about this one that there is another pattern for which they recommend using her Advent calendar, and upon doing some further research on this particular pattern, I think that is exactly what I'd like to do with it. I think it's going to turn out beautiful. So I do have a plan for her Advent as well. I cannot wait to see what Cheryl did with her Advent from Hypnotic Yarn. Finally, the last Advent I ordered was from Legacy Fiber Arts. They have a very long-standing, very popular Advent calendar they offer every year as well. Sue and Chelsea dye such beautiful yarn, and I'm really excited to see what their Advent will look like as well. Now, my plan for that is a little bit up in the air. I think what I'm going to do is basically make a bunch of ornaments. Sue has a little baby sock ornament pattern that I think I would like to make. My plan would be to do 2 every month between now and next December and give it to my cousin and his wife who are expecting their first child in January. And I'm hoping to maybe use it as a first Christmas gift for their child. They could put a new sock up every day, or they can fill it with treats as the child gets older and get a little treat out of each sock every day. However they would want to use it, but I kind of want to knit up some socks that their child can eventually use as a little Advent calendar themselves. There's also some really beautiful ornament patterns from Christy of Yarn Cafe Creations. Last year she offered 24 little ornament patterns, and that is what I made out of my Knit Style Yarns Advent. So here's some examples. This is a little baby gnome hat with a little cable up front with the pom-pom. Here's a little cable sock. Again, this is all from last year's Advent. Some little mittens. And even a little bathrobe. How cute is that? She had a couple different little sweater designs. And this one is a little party dress. And then my personal favorite is this little ear flap hat. How funny and cute is that? I had so much fun making all those ornaments last year that I think that is what I would like to do with my legacy fiber arts. Whether I make a little advent calendar for my cousin's baby or make some more ornaments for our Christmas tree or a couple different sets of things for people. They're also really good present toppers. I've heard a lot of people knit up cute little things like that and put it on top of their gifts. So we'll see what I do with that, but I think I'll knit up a whole bunch of cute little things with Stu and Chelsea of Legacy Fiber Arts Advent. I'll put in some B-roll of all of the ornaments I knit up, as well as Christy's 2018 set of just socks that I made out of Nicole of Hugh Loco's Sexy Christmas mini set. I think she's doing socks this year, so that could also be something else I do. I think she's got a 2020 sock mystery knit along where you get a new tiny sock pattern every day. That could be something else I do with my Legacy Fiber Arts as well. This little chat about what I plan to do with my yarn advent calendars this year. Let me know what you plan on doing with your advent calendars and any inspiration you have for using minis. Leave a comment below or message me on Instagram. I am at Knitty Heather on Instagram if you would like to follow me. I always love making new cyber friends and seeing what everyone is up to. Thanks again for joining me. Please hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps my channel out and I very much appreciate it. Until next time, be well, be kind, and happy Advent knitting and crocheting. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.